Hey guys, welcome back to Words of War. My name is Jorge Guerra.
And I'm Sergio Guerra.
And today we're going to be reviewing Riddick with, I was about to say Denzel Washington.
It's a different kind of movie.
Yeah, so Riddick. Riddick is, well, it's a continuation actually the storyline of the Pitch Black series. Well, the Pitch Black was the first movie, and then Chronicles of Riddick, and now this Riddick. There's actually a game. There's a game for it. I think there was a comic book for it too. But so it's Vin Diesel. It's like his baby kind of sort of. If you haven't seen the other movies, you don't necessarily need to, but there are little things in it from the other two movies which I thought was kind of cool. That it's just a continuation. As far as what goes on, it's pretty much Riddick being a badass. Pretty much, he's in this planet and. Not to spoil too much or anything, but he's in this planet and he's kind of got to get off of it, and bounty hunters show up and action and blood and guts ensue, right? But all in all, what I thought of this movie, I really liked it. I've seen the other two films and they're both on that cheesy side where it's like if it's on TV, I really won't. Like maybe the second one, maybe I'll sit there and watch it, you know what I mean? But this one, like, yeah, like if a friend wanted to watch it, like at their house or something, I would definitely watch it. So it was very, very reminiscent of like 80s movies for me. Like I just saw the RoboCop trailer earlier, and it made me kind of miss that feel of like of those 80s movies. And this is very, very much so, to me, had like an 80s style kind of anti-hero kind of feel. I thought it was really cool, of Vin Diesel. Like he pretty much did kind of a little bit of a reset on knowing the character. Pitch Black. That's kind of where this character started, and it was just he's kind of taken the mantle on since then. And the second one was a little, and this one I think it just defined the character a little bit more. And I think. Now, this is where the character is actually going to start taking off, which I'm sure there's going to be more films. But what did you think about it?
I actually, I think it definitely was like a jerk fest, like a self jerk fest. Like the whole thing, I mean, it's about how badass this guy is.
But that's how the character is, yeah.
You did think? It's just because I get it. Okay, so Riddick's supposed to be a badass.
Mm-hmm.
They say that at the beginning. They show you some stuff on him, like, surviving in the wilds or whatever, which takes way too long. The first, 35 minutes of the movie is a boy and his dog. It's Riddick finding a fucking puppy and just treating, making him like his puppy, pretty much, like, do his bidding. It's 30 minutes of... and even worse, there's not even much talking between him and the dog. It's not like there's an actual relationship building. It's like in Castaway with Tom Hanks, and he had that little fucking volleyball, and he would talk to it, and it became a character. The CG, I thought, did better of an acting job. There's actually had pretty okay CG throughout the whole movie, so I was actually surprised by that, because it's a sci-fi flick and I didn't think they would spend that much money, but it's everywhere. A lot of it's very well done. But back to the story is just, I don't think you need, an hour's worth of an intro to a character that you've seen for two other films to tell you how badass he is. That's all this was. It was just all about how badass he is. Riddick is so badass that he takes on 11 men with no problem. Like everyone in the universe fears this guy. He turns lesbian straight. There's got to be a point where you're calm the fuck down, guy.
I thought it was really cool, man. Like it reminded me a lot of what it reminded me a lot of. It was Conan. Like the very beginning of the first Conan, where it's like, but it's kind of the intro to the character.
Yeah, but they don't spend like the whole movie telling you how badass Conan is. He's already doing something, and you see it happen. How Conan fucking knocks out a goddamn camel with a punch in the middle of where he's going to do his stuff.
You see it here.
No, there was a montage. Not even a montage. There was a whole mini movie of how this guy can survive the worst type of things, and it wasn't even exciting. It would be cool if he was actually. He gets put through a lot. I'll give him that. But there's not ever really like a imminent danger. Like there's all these horrible creatures, but when he goes to fight them, it's just one at a time. You know, earlier there was a little pack of dogs there, and like they get attacked by like 5 or 6 of them. When Riddick goes to fight them, it's one at a time. That's, you know, so that takes away if you're gonna feel like, oh shit, he might actually, you know, have his work cut out for him. No.
I don't know. I thought it was. I thought the beginning was cool because, and I mean, you've seen the first one. This is the second one. I think honestly, I think this is the beginning of like the actual story, like of Riddick, because the first one felt very much like it was just a sci-fi movie with just that character to be a character. It wasn't a strong plot. The second one felt like he was just trying to make money off of what it was, you know. But like the character himself, like I think the very beginning of this movie, like kind of shows that he's just a survivor and he's just, you know, he'll do whatever he needs to do to try to get the job done.
My problem with that is that they've had 2 movies to do that. Yeah. I know what you're saying. This feels like it's the beginning of the character. It's not. We've had 2 full movies and a 30-minute mini movie at the beginning of this one. When the mercenaries that come looking for him, for Riddick, come in, that's when the movie really starts. That's when it should start. The whole first 35 minutes could have been condensed probably into 5 minutes. You would have gotten the same type of reaction and you would have known, okay, well, Riddick's a badass. And I think it would have made more of an impact if it was that quick. And then you get right into the action. You know, I think Vin Diesel did a pretty good job, but there wasn't much to the part, you know. I mean, I don't think so, because he's just supposed to be such a badass. I mean, nothing like does anything for him, you know. So and then unfortunately for him, for a lot of the time he's wearing these goggles, so maybe there was more expression there than I caught, at least in my opinion. You know, this is what you see for 2 hours, just that face.
Oh, and Katee Sackhoff. Katee Sackhoff. From Battlestar Galactica, she's so.
Is that where she's from? She looked familiar.
Yeah, she's Battlestar.
You know what? She did a great job. Her boobs did a great job. Spoiler, but still. What you call it? The guy that I think took home the gold was the guy that played Johns. I don't remember his name, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we could put it down here if we find it later. Maybe in the description later.
Yeah,
somewhere down the line. But the guy that played Johns out-acted everybody. I cared more about his story than Riddick's or anything else that was happening. Because essentially, like George was saying earlier, Riddick's story for this movie was just he's trying to get off this planet. Yeah. And you know, how he's, you know, pretty much just, I don't know, how he's single-handedly able to take everyone down so he can get off this planet on somebody else's ship, you know? And what you call it, and I sort of disagree with the thing that you don't have to have seen the first 2 movies, because Johns, I think the guy that played him did such a good job. You care more about what happened to him and his son, which is, again, no major spoiler there, but it's got something to do with part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1, it seems like you're missing something the whole way through, because you care more.
That you would kind of have to see the first one.
I swear I thought you said that you didn't think you have to see the first ones. Maybe it's because I'm asleep, but well, I guess we'll see on the video. Anyways, if you said that, then I totally agree. Okay. I thought you said you didn't, but I do think you need to have seen at least the first one, because you start caring so much about, you know, what actually did happen back there or whatever. And you know, it might be in the writing, it might be in the acting, but I just thought that the John's character really took the story.
So what would you give it?
I think, as far as a movie, you know what, it's got its ups and downs. Like I said, the CG's pretty good. There's some really cool practical effects that I like seeing in a film. You know, there wasn't like there's not anything that you're really gonna be like, oh, I wish I hadn't seen this movie. If you go, you're gonna probably enjoy it, you know. But I necessarily wouldn't recommend it to people to go see it at the theater. You're not missing much. I'd give it like a 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 7, just because I personally kind of like the Riddick character. Like, it's the whole anti-hero thing and just the thing of sci-fi. And honestly, this movie for me was very, very 80s, and I missed that. Like, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of nostalgia for me, but it felt like that kind of cheesy, like bloody for no reason, you know, like full of himself character. Like, it just kind of it worked for me. If you've liked the series, you'll more than likely enjoy this one. Again, if one of my friends was watching it and like he asked me to go, I probably would go see it, because like Sergio said, you're not gonna hate it, You know what I mean? So it's a decent ride, to tell you the truth. So yeah, I mean that's what I would go with. But so again, I mean, let us know what you thought about it. If you've hated all the Riddick films, if you've liked them, you know, you think he's an Oscar-worthy actor, whatever the case may be. But as always, like, subscribe in the bottom if you'd be so kind. And thank you so much for watching. And again, Jorge Guerra.
Sergio Guerra, have a nice weekend.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye.